Welcome to the first episode of Women's Access to Education podcast. Hello, everyone. Today we're shining a light on a cause that's crucial to building a brighter future for millions of girls and women around the world: education. In Africa, access to education for women and girls remains one of the biggest challenges. Cultural, financial, and infrastructure barriers often prevent girls from achieving their full potential. However, there are many incredible charities working tirelessly to break down these barriers and ensure that women and girls in Africa have the opportunity to learn, grow, and thrive. In today's episode, we'll explore some of these remarkable organizations that are dedicated to improving women's access to education across Africa. Let's get into it. First, let's start by understanding why education is such an important tool for women in Africa. Girls' education has a multiplier effect. When women are educated, they are more likely to invest in their families, improve their communities, and even lift entire nations out of poverty. In many African countries, girls face barriers like early marriages, long distances to school, cultural expectation, and economic hardship. These barriers can make it nearly impossible for many girls to receive an education. Yet studies show that when girls go to school, they are less likely to marry young, more likely to stay healthy, and more likely to contribute to their economy. When I started doing research on women's access to education in Africa, I came across the movie Girl Rising. I soon came out to find that they had a charitable organization associated with it. They do many amazing things. I have a couple of things that they do on the screen up here. In Nigeria, they work with 1 million teachers to advance education initiatives. They are working with 10 grassroots organizations addressing the education gap in some of Kenya's most marginalized communities. Lessons and activities in the resources focus on themes such as self-efficiency, participation in decision-making, confidence, and positivity towards gender equality. Girl Rising showcases the story of girls who have overcome obstacles to pursue education, and they partner with local organizations to improve access to education in African countries like Nigeria, Ethiopia, and Kenya. The next organization I found was CAMFED, which stands for Campaign for Female Education. It was founded in Zimbabwe, and it is dedicated to ensuring that girls in rural Africa receive the education they deserve. They have a unique approach where they focus on supporting not only the girls but also the communities around them. They provide scholarships, mentorship programs, and access to resources that help break down the barriers that prevent girls from attending school. Since 1993, they have supported 7.2 million children to go to school, including 2.2 million girls at secondary school. They also focus on empowering young women through the CAMFED Association to become leaders and role models. The Malala Fund has a major presence in Africa. They work to ensure access to 12 years of free, safe, and quality education. Their key areas of focus are strengthening, expanding, fostering, and investing. They work to dismantle barriers and help young girls complete secondary and senior education in Nigeria and all across Africa. The next organization I found is the African Education Foundation. They are dedicated to the improvement of health and education in West Africa. They focus primarily on the construction of schools, health clinics, libraries, and other learning centers, as well as developing and maintaining clean water supplies. So not only do they focus on making sure these children are educated, but they have a safe place to be educated. They have been involved in more than 30 plus projects that have helped improve growing communities in West Africa. They focus on bridging the gap by making secondary school accessible to girls in rural communities. They also provide leadership training and resources that empower girls to become change agents in their community. Lastly, the last organization I'm going to talk about is Education for All Morocco. It is a charity that works in Morocco to provide education to girls, particularly in rural and remote areas. They focus on building schools, providing learning materials, and ensuring that girls have safe, inclusive, and supportive learning environments. They have provided safe residences, quality education, and specialized support for around 500 disadvantaged girls in some of the country's most underserved areas. I added this statistic because I found it on their website. Around half of girls and women in Morocco are illiterate due to many factors such as access to education, cultural barriers and lack of independence, economic constraints, transport limitations, lack of resources. And since 2007, they have supported AEFA, a project that builds and runs boarding houses for young girls. Now let's talk about the impact these organizations are having. Thanks to their tireless work, millions of girls are now in classrooms where they previously had no. For example, through Girl Rising programs, many girls in rural Ethiopia have gained the confidence and resources to stay in school and aim for careers that once seemed impossible. CamFed's community-driven model has helped thousands of girls graduate and pursue higher education, leading to better job prospects and improved economic stability for families. In countries like Nigeria, the Malala Fund is advocating for policy change that ensure education a national priority, particularly for girls. These efforts are slowly but surely leading to changes in laws and policies that create a safer and more inclusive environment for women and girls to learn and thrive. The ripple effects of these efforts are powerful. When girls are educated, they empower their communities, strengthen economies, and contribute to a more just and equitable world. So, what can we do to support these incredible efforts? First, we can consider donating to one of these organizations. No matter how small, they can help provide scholarships, books, and infrastructure needed for. Secondly, we can spread the word by sharing stories of these inspiring organizations with friends and family. The more people who are aware of the barriers girls face in accessing education, the more advocates we have fighting for change. Finally, consider getting involved by volunteering, raising awareness, or supporting advocacy efforts. Every action counts when it comes to supporting a brighter future for women and girls. And below to the pod. Thank you guys so much for watching. I put the links down below to all the different charities so you can check out their websites and see even more in detail what they are about.